look at another problem here. A sports car starts from rest and travels along a straight road until it reaches a speed of 31 meters per second in 8 seconds, as shown in the velocity versus time graph. The flat part of the graph can be attributed to the result of gears changing. We want to draw an acceleration versus time graph and determine the maximum acceleration of the car. This can be done two different ways. First way we can do it is by just pulling points off of the graph, or we can use it by doing a derivative since we are given equations. So first let's start off by just pulling information off the graph. What we know is this graph has three distinct areas. There's the first part, we have the second area, and we have this third area. And so in the first part, we know that we're going from a time of 0 seconds to 4 seconds. So we can write this out as from 0 all the way to 4 seconds inclusive. All right, and we know that acceleration, when we look at the graph, is just going to be delta v over delta t, or more formally, v final minus v initial over t final minus t initial. So in this case, since we're going from 0 to 4 seconds, we know our final time is going to be 4 seconds. Our initial time is 0 seconds. And our final velocity at 4 seconds, if we look across, is given to us as 16 meters per second. And our initial velocity, well, our initial point was just 0 meters per second. And so if we solve this, what we have is we have 16 meters per second. Let's put in, not to forget to put in our units. If we solve this, what we end up having is 16 divided by 4, or simply 4 meters per second squared. Okay, in part 2, what we can see is, well, it's flat. The velocity doesn't change. And again, we can say the same thing from here. We're going to go from 4 seconds all the way to 5 seconds. And we see in this area, again, acceleration is going to be defined as delta v over delta t, velocity final minus velocity initial. And we could say this is, for part 2 of the graph, so velocity initial of 2, velocity final of 2, and here same thing, time final of part 2 of the graph minus time initial part 2 of the graph. And in this case, this was part 1, part 1, part 1, part 1. Okay, and so here we have our final velocity, well, 16 meters per second, minus 16 meters per second, divided by final time is 5 seconds, minus 4 seconds. What we see here, we're going to have 0 meters per second divided by 1 second, and that just gives us an answer of 0 meters per second squared. And so we see it's flat, the velocity is not changing, and we know in fact that we're not going to have acceleration. The third area we're going to look at is going to be from 5 seconds to 8 seconds. So we're going to go from 5 seconds all the way to 8 seconds. And so here we see again, we know acceleration is equal to delta v over delta t. And since we're dealing with the third area, we're going to call this here v final 3 minus v initial of 3 divided by t final of 3 minus t initial of 3. And we know here the final velocity that we have, if we look across, is given to us as 31 meters per second. It's also told to us in the problem. So we have 31 meters per second subtracted from our 16 meters per second divided by 8 seconds, it's our final time, minus our 5 seconds. So what we have left here is going to be 15 meters per second divided by 3 seconds. So what we have left is just going to be 5 meters per second squared. And so we see the maximum acceleration we have, in fact, is going to be this 5 meters per second squared. I'm going to highlight this in blue. So that's our maximum acceleration. The other thing that we could do is we could have actually solved this using a derivative method. But before we get there, let's draw our acceleration versus time graph. Okay, so line everything up. So we know we have here our acceleration. We're going to write this in meters per second squared, and our time is in seconds. So what we have is at 0 seconds, we have 4 meters per second squared, all the way up to 4 seconds. So all the way from 0 seconds to 1, 2, 3, 4 seconds, we have a constant acceleration of 4 meters per second squared. So we'll have here 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, we can label this 3, 2, 1, 5, 6. Okay, so we have a constant acceleration that's going to be maintained from 0 to 4 seconds. And then we saw from 4 to 5 seconds, we have an acceleration of 0. So we're going to drop this all the way down. And we're going to keep it at 0 from 4 to 5 seconds. And then finally, our acceleration increases, and we have an acceleration of 5 meters per second squared, from 5 seconds all the way to 8 seconds. So from 5 seconds to 7, 6, 7, 8 seconds, we're going to have an acceleration of 5 meters per second squared. So all we do is we just take our time, draw out the graph, and there we go. We have our acceleration versus time graph. Now, there's another way we could have figured out these accelerations. The other method that we could have done is taking the derivative. Now, we remember that acceleration with respect to time is the first derivative, dv of t, dt, and sometimes it's just written out as v dot t. So we know what our equations are. So we know that the equation from 0 to 4 seconds is given to us as velocity is equal to 4t, and so we could just take the derivative. So what we could have done is we could have said acceleration respect to time here could have just been equal to d dt of our 4t. And when we take the derivative of 4t, we just get 4 meters per second squared. Exactly the same as we had before. In part 2, well, we just have a constant number, and we know the derivative of a constant is 0, so we just have 0. And then finally, for the last one, we have our acceleration. Our equation to us is given as 5t minus 6. So we can do the derivative with respect to time of 5t minus 6. And now the derivative of 5t gives us 5. The derivative of negative 6 just gives us 0. So what we have here is 5 minus 0, or just 5 meters per second squared. And again, exact same value as before. So in some cases, it's easier to just take the derivative. In some cases, it's easier to just solve it